Making news, Gillard has resigned as Prime Minister after losing her leadership battle with Kevin Rudd.
New legislation set to increase the penalties for dog attacks.
The state government has announced more affordable housing to be built.
And the Hong Kong government is defending their decision to let Edward Snowden go.
This is the evening news with Ivan Leung and Danielle Staniskov.
Good evening. Kevin Rudd has regained the Labour Party's leadership after a spill on Wednesday night in Canberra. Mr Rudd has won the caucus ballot with 57 votes against former Prime Minister Julie Gillard's 45 votes. It's understood that Ms Gillard will not contest the next federal election. Treasurer Wayne Swan and Communications Minister Stephen Conroy are resigning and moving to the backbench.
The Minister for Local Government, Tony Simpson, has rolled out a new legislation increasing the penalties for dog attacks. The new law will also require mandatory microchipping for all dogs in WA. Stephanie Russo has more.
Western Australia's dog control laws are getting tougher. A new dog amendment bill will be introduced into state parliament this week. Minister for Local Government Tony Simpson has spearheaded the introduction of the Dog Act.
The Dog Act is going a long way to fixing a lot of anomalies in the system in regards to the licensing a dog, microchipping a dog and restricting dangerous breeds.
Under the Act, death or serious injury caused by a dog will now become a criminal offence by the dog's owner and will result in harsher and more appropriate penalties.
This will go a long way to help the local community in terms of tracking down stray dogs, nuisance dogs, but also give the courts a lot more power to deal with dogs that are in a vicious attacks, so the actual court can actually deal with them far more easily than it is done with the old legislation.
A key feature of the Act is that all dogs in the state of Western Australia must now be microchipped. RSPCA President Lynn Bradshaw was pleased with the bill, citing Western Australia's need to move forward with animal laws.
We were a little bit behind in some ways, and microchipping's been one of those, so it's fantastic to see that coming forward now. A lot of work has gone on for a very long time, including the interactions with government, and they have stepped up now and actually made the changes, which is fabulous.
Stephanie Russo, WAMN News.
The government recently has announced it will build 1,000 more units of affordable housing right here in Perth. But with the public housing waitlist in WA already reaching record high levels, questions have been raised about the government's ability to solve the problem. To discuss this issue, I've interviewed the state's opposition's Shadow Housing Minister, Frank Logan. Frank Logan, welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much, Ivan.
The Housing Minister has just announced the 1,000 increase on the housing targets. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the 1,000 affordable housing units that he announced the other day are primarily funded by the federal government. They are available to low-income earners, which is laudable and commendable, but there's no public housing content of those units. There are no homes west.
But so that means you're trying to say that a lot of people are going to miss out with this sort of scheme?
A lot of people are missing out. Right now, as we speak, there are people who are moving from house to house, couch surfing, sleeping with friends, sleeping with parents or grandparents, sleeping in cars, and some people sleeping literally out, wherever they can find.
The Homes West having problems with their houses and some of them unfurbished. What do you have to say about that one?
Well, there are still, if you drive around Perth, there are still plenty of houses that are vacant, Homes West homes that are vacant.
Should the government increase the speed of maintenance?
Maintenance is a big, big problem for Homes West. It is a black hole for the Minister for Housing, and he doesn't seem to be able to address it. The current Minister for Housing, Bill Marmion, introduced the head contractor model with Transfield in 2010. He made a statement to this House of Parliament and to the general public that over a 3-year period of this new contract, they would save $20 million. That inquiry, that audit rather, by the KPMG found that there'd been no money saved, that actually the timeliness of responsiveness by Homes West to maintenance problems had gone backwards, and there was no analysis of the quality of the jobs because there was no KPIs in place to be able to measure against.
Well, the government's having cuts to the budgets. Do you think this problem is just going to get worse rather than getting better?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The government is quite proud of their affordable housing strategy. That is 20,000 homes by 2020. If there's a change of federal government and a new Conservative government decides to turn off the flow of money from Canberra into the housing area, that affordable housing strategy target is not going to be achieved.
Fran Logan, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
The City of Cockburn has announced that they will increase the average household rates by 7.45% after handing down the City Council's budget for 2013 to 2014. The Mayor Logan Howlett defended the increase, saying that the rate increase is one of the lowest compared to neighbouring councils.
The Cockburn City Council announced its budget for 2013 to 2014, with the report stating the council is doing financially well.
Having cash reserves to meet all of our ongoing commitments, and under the state government's review of local governments, we're in the #1 category in terms of financial management and financial stability.
There will be a 4.75% rate increase to all different types of properties, but the city mayor defended the increase.
We have looked very carefully at each line of expenditure. Our administration have done a thorough work on ensuring that we've kept the increases to a minimum.
In this year's budget, the City Council has allocated 54.5 million of spending to community infrastructures, 15 million on the Library and Success and GP Super Clinic in Cockburn Central. $9 million will also be spent on upgrading major road projects in the area. Seow, WAMN News.
The Kwinana Power Station is due to shut down by October 2015. The Energy Minister Mike Nahan said in a media statement that extending the life of this 37-year-old power plant Stage C is not economically sounded. Dr. Nahan has made it clear that shutting down the station will not affect WA's power prices and energy security. The decision was announced under the shadow of the MUJ-AB power plant's $250 million blowout. Meanwhile, the opposition claimed that the blowout will cost taxpayers at least $280 million.
To World News, despite Edward Snowden leaving Hong Kong last Sunday, the saga is not over yet. The SAR government has continued to deny that they tipped off Mr. Snowden, saying that they were only following the local laws and procedures.
The Secretary of Justice of Hong Kong, Mr. Rim-Kee-Yuen, clarified the action taken by the SAR government regarding ex-CIA agent Edward Snowden, who is still on the run. Yuen stated that the SAR government's decision of letting him leave Hong Kong earlier this month is lawful. He also mentioned that the United States hadn't given enough information for Hong Kong government to take further action against Snowden. When Edward Snowden entered Hong Kong, he used the pseudonym of Edward Joseph Snowden, while the name provided by the USA government is Edward J. Snowden. The mismatch in the middle name hindered any legal action against Snowden by the Hong Kong government. Yuen claimed that he had called the Department of Justice of the States asking them for more information, but the Department of Justice failed to reply on the request. Hence, local governments can't stop Snowden from leaving Hong Kong lawfully. Snowden has left Hong Kong earlier last week and is now in Moscow. Dustin Low, WAMN News.
And that's how the world looks tonight. More news on our website.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for calling in. Good night.
Good night.